Yeah, 100%. I felt the same way as well my entire life. Like, oh, Brad, why are you doing this? Like, why can't you just work the job? Like, why you're making good money. Why are you moving to Thailand? What are you doing? Like, get your shit together. Like, why are you trying to start a business? Why are you failing at a business? What, like I've been hearing this my entire life. And it's like, it requires that different type of mindset that like, we are all the type of people that if we don't like something and we don't like our situation, we're going to change it, right? Where most people, they'll just sit in that shitty job, right? That 20, the 40-hour week that ends up being a 50 and a 60, and you're working on the weekends, the job that you don't like, and just suffer because you're okay with it, or there's fear of stepping outside of it. And I think it requires that, like, you know, it's scary as hell. I quit my 9 to 5 job. I was making a lot of money. Barb was quit her job, right? That's not an easy thing to say, like, I'm out, like I'm gone. And Barb, you could probably speak on this really well, because I know you recently quit your job. Like, what is that like? And what was it that really pushed you over the edge to say,
Literally,
I'm out?
as you were talking, I was like, so I think especially, and I don't mean to sound like, oh, you guys are young and it's easy for you. That's not what I'm saying. Because I think that entrepreneurship is so counterculture, like regardless of your age, regardless of anything. But I feel like for me, like when I was 18, there wasn't online business, like, but I think there's always kind of been this, like, there's a 9 to 5, there's a safe, secure job, and that's it. And that's always what's been kind of indoctrinated with me, with like my dad. It was always like, work hard, don't take time off, sacrifice, like all the stuff that is antithetical to who I am now. And so I think that was very ingrained. And I actually remember posting a TikTok video about, gosh, like, I can't wait to quit my job. It's coming. Like, and in my mind, I was like, I want to double my income where I'm at now, and then I will quit my job. That was like my mindset. And you, Brad, actually made a comment on one of my TikTok videos, and you were like, Barb, what are you doing? Like, get out of there already. Like, and basically kind of reframed the way I was thinking about it to, it's like an opportunity cost. Like, what is the cost to my online business for me staying at this 40-hour-a-week job, being unhappy, having my energy zapped and stealing my creativity and just making me resentful and bitter? And that really reframed it for me. And so I stopped thinking of it as, I need to get to here and then I'll quit my job, to I need to take this leap of faith and realize that it's going to be scary, just like everything else that I've, as you guys were talking, Trevor and Alex, I was thinking, I did not have entrepreneur parents, or I didn't, I was always, doing the prescribed thing. But I think that I've failed so much in life in just spectacular ways, that failure now doesn't really scare me. Like, falling on your face so hard and kind of having that broadcast to the world, which is kind of like what my past has been, has made it so that the fear of quitting a job, like, yes, that was scary, but a lot less scary than kind of where I've been. Anyway, so I think reframing the fear of quitting my 9 to 5 into, think of how much more time I'm going to have to spend on my online business. There's no way I could be where I'm at or have launched a coaching program working 40 hours a week. Like, no way. Not one that's good, at least, And so I think for anyone that's listening and feeling like stuck in a situation, it doesn't have to be just black or white. And also sometimes, and not all the time, I'm not saying everyone let's go out and, quit our job and then not be able to put food on the table. But I think a lot of times our fear or thinking in black and white holds us back. And like, flip that around and think, what if I did quit my job? What would it look like? And start to consider other options. It might not be quitting your job. It might be working part-time. It might be working at a different job until, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to just be this or that. Anyway, so that was a verbose way of putting it, but that's how
When
I
you
do.
when you said like your creativity zaps, that's literally how I was feeling. Like it was no coincidence that when I quit my job, I started to see my better months, because it was so exhausting going to work, having a shitty day at work, and have to go make 3 TikToks. You know what I'm saying? So it's that happy medium. You have to find that difference. Like you had said, don't just go out there, quit your job, not have a plan. This is where saving and putting your money in this, you know, putting a certain amount of money and really like looking and budgeting and knowing, okay, I can do this, right? You don't necessarily have to double your income, but I can do well doing this, and then go for that leap, you know, because for me, it was the same thing. Like you especially now with COVID happening, you have people losing jobs left and right. You had people, I mean, now it seems like that unemployment has been removed, that you can now find a job a little bit more easier now. But generally speaking, the good jobs, there were plenty of people just getting removed, right? Especially with robots and AIs replacing a lot of these jobs. So it's that fear where it's just like, and I can only imagine if you're an adult, like at least me, I don't have any liabilities, but I can imagine if you have kids, rent, you have all these other liabilities that you have to manage. So it really comes down to realizing, look, if I have the right system in place, this is why I love systems. This is why, although I hated math, I still loved math, because I knew there was one answer at the end of the day. English class, though, it's just like, it's all, you know, it can vary, but math and systems, like you put this in place and you do it at a certain amount of time, it will work. So that was understanding that I knew, like, if I did this, uploaded this amount of times per day, I would get this result. And that's what I kind of held myself to. And that was kind of that leap of faith that I had to take.
Don't sell yourself short, Alex. You're an adult.
Right. Yeah.
Trevor, I want to send this to you too, because it's been really fun watching your journey. Like, you know, you ripping TikToks in your dorm room in your first year of college, while, you know, everyone else is probably out, you know, drinking like I was 5 nights a week or more, and, you know, dicking around. But what is it in you that has that discipline to when probably most people are, you know, just trying to, you know, pass their intro to economics class, and you're out here, you know, building a 6-figure business? What level of discipline did that take, and why do you think you have that level of discipline?
Well, it was definitely a lot because I didn't work a 9 to 5 job. Well, I did. I kind of did before, but while I was in college, I obviously wasn't. And I was getting my creativity zapped with college, and it was hard to handle all that. So it was definitely tough. And I think a lot of that, like, consistency and discipline has came from my upbringing and doing multiple sports at the same time and throughout the whole year. And that has definitely, like, helped me do that. And I have always been one for self-improvement and just improving my life in general. So I never saw as, like, drinking and partying and all that as a way for improvement. So I never even really ventured into that.
I'm just curious, Trevor, what sports did you play?
I ran cross country, track, I swam. I did a little bit of football, did a little bit of basketball too.
Nice.
Not much else really that was serious.
Just that.
Yeah.
Off like 5 sports.
Just only all the sports.
Dude, I know. I was thinking as you were talking about like the athletic stuff, I like just looking back on my life, that was such a huge place where I kind of learned to overcome fear. Or I, again, was having this conversation the other day, but I was telling someone, like, I've never liked being in the spotlight and being like the best basketball player on my team in high school and college. I was kind of like thrust into that. And I would get so like overwhelmed with anxiety and nervousness. I would like throw up in a trash can or in a drinking fountain before half of my games, which is like really gross. But also, I think that when you're young, or when you're really any age, having to feel that level of fear and pressure, and then going out and doing it anyways, like taking the action that you're afraid of and doing the thing and having success, is like so powerful. And something that I always talk about, and if you haven't read the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, you should. But it's like the things that we're the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek, you know, that quote. But it's like the things that we're afraid to do, if we go out and do them, then that's the thing that's going to reward us the most and give us the most growth.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Brad always tells us, be comfortable with being uncomfortable, moving out, stepping out of your side of your comfort zone. I know, like, we work with a lot of people that are just fearful of even showing their face on social media. And I definitely understand, man. Like, I look back at some of my first videos, they're horrible, absolutely horrible. But you always got to remind yourself that. And then I always try to not to botch this quote, but it's one of my favorite quotes. You think I'd know it by now, but it's, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So you have to initially take those first few steps to become good at something. You're not going to be born. I mean, some people can be born with a talent, but for the most part, you have to keep practicing time and time again to really start seeing those results, right? Getting over that fear. Your fear comes from the lack of confidence that you have. And if you build that confidence up over time by doing it time and time again, it's the same thing like in elementary school or middle school, when the teacher calls on you to read a portion of the chapter, everybody would be fearful, including myself, until I realized when I started to volunteer first and when I started to just openly go first, I kind of set the bar, right? I didn't have to rely on someone else to set the bar. I would set the bar. So people would either have to perform at that level or belowhand, and I just look better. And it's the same thing with your content. Just go out there, look and appear confident, and you'll start to resonate that internally and really start to project that. So that's what it really just comes down to.
Dude, 100%. Like a video I always share with people is Amy Cuddy, when she talks about like fake it till you become it. And it's like exactly what you're saying. And going back to my Blockbuster days, like that's what I had to do. It's almost like I became a different person while I was at work because out of necessity. So I developed this like persona that was like confident and could talk to people and was just like super like, it's like I felt like I was faking being a human, honestly, because I felt like, I don't know, not a human or like a robot or something, but I would do all the human gestures and like, oh, hey, like, but it's like that became internalized. And it's like, we are nothing but just like the internalizations of the behaviors that we do over and over and over, And so if you want to be more patient, put yourself in trying situations and practice patience, or put yourself in, if you want to be more confident, go out and do things that are scary to you. And then do them. And there's nothing that will build confidence faster than doing something you didn't think you could do.